What is up, YouTube? Welcome back, or welcome to my channel if this is your first time. This is my channel, Pixie Dust and Spirit Alchemy, where we talk about all sorts of things taboo, occult, witchy, spiritual, stuff like that. You can find it all here. This video today is going to be specifically on the Illumenator Pendant, which is this one that I am wearing around my neck right now. Chris Tanner, who owns and operates High Power Creations. He makes the pendants. I'll post a picture of some of his pendants in there too, so it's a clearer image. But this is my Illumenator Pendant. So this pendant, being the Illumenator Pendant, this is the Bringer of Light. The Bringer of Light pendant. What does that mean? So when we think of light, what do we think of? We think of light, right? We think of the sun. We think of possibly the moonlight, but probably more so the sun. You might think of just lights in general, you know, electricity, source, maybe the solar plexus chakra. So this pendant illuminates our own energy and our own beings to align with the frequency and the energy of our highest selves. A balanced inner divine masculine and inner divine feminine within one person, no matter your gender. Because every single person out there, regardless of man or woman or non-binary or whatever, has that polarity, the duality of polarity within themselves of gender, right? Everyone has their divine masculine or divine feminine being the one that they put out for people, you know, the gender that you were born as. Then there's the inner polarity, the opposite, the masculine or feminine, which is still within ourselves, not external. It's not another person. It's not like your twin flame or something. It's within you. And with this balancing brings a completion almost, or highly developed evolvement of one's own personal power. It's a picture of I believe it's Caduceus symbol with the two snakes going up and round. I have it sort of in my logo now too. You know, rising up, spiraling around the chakras, and then expanding out at the top. So those two snakes, in this case, represent the masculine and the feminine, and the merging that they do in the upward direction representing our own energy. This is a thought in a lot of spiritual practices. It also is in Kundalini Yoga, the balancing of Shiva and Shakti. In Kundalini, when you're practicing yoga, it's that Kundalini energy that lies at the base of the spine that will shoot upward through the top of the spine during practice or during sessions or meditation, and aligning us with our most authentic selves. Hey guys, I just wanted to add here really quick that if anyone is familiar with Carl Jung's analytical school of psychology, and his theory of collective unconscious, he refers to the anima and animus. The animus being the masculine side, the unconscious masculine side of a woman, and the anima being the unconscious feminine side of a man in each person. And each are thought to transcend the ego and beyond one's individual psyche. I will just add one more reference here, and this one goes to dates to the Gnostic Gospels with the mention of Jesus and Sophia. So I won't go into this much, but I wanted to post this picture as just another example of that divine masculine and feminine, you know, within this time a biblical reference, a religious reference, you know, and not in the Bible, but from the Gnostic Gospels. So just to give you guys a few more examples of the concept that I'm talking about, that this pendant helps us illuminate within ourselves. So this balance of the inner divine masculine and feminine essentially puts us in the position to be our highest self. They are all super strong pendants. You know, this was the Aegis one that I did. This was the Divine Feminine, which I can't wait to do this because this is quite strong too. And then the multi-point alignment pendant. Now, what are the stones in here? Again, I cannot name every stone because I just don't have that information. But to name a few, there are a lot of solar stones. Heliodor, Titanite, and Stellar Beam Calcite. So those are just three. I'm sure there are more in here, but I do not know all of them. Just my personal effects when I first put it on were that I noticed I felt empowered. I honestly, when I wear it, feel a little bit like I'm glowing. I know I'm not. I do have a light on me right now, so, but it's not the pendant. Well, it is, but isn't. Also just was given subtle feelings of confidence and purpose, you know, which is also probably just an example of of our manifestation and willpower, you know, our personal power being strengthened by this pendant. And it also seemed to block any adversarial thoughts, you know, anything negative, anything telling me I can't do this, or this won't work out, or my worst fears. Those just seem to be muted. And they hadn't been very loud before anyways, but they just seem to be quieter. And then one more thing that I'll say about this pendant is, and a quick little video that I'm going to post in here too, is that I hung these pendants up on my wall, right around above my altar area. And I have these fairy lights around my altar, you know, that just glow when I turn them on. They don't do much. And I hung the pendants up there, and the first night that I had them, and I was like in my room doing laundry or whatever I was doing, and I looked, I don't know, I looked at my altar, and I noticed the fairy lights moving near where the pendants were hanging, where this pendant was hanging specifically. And I was like, okay, like maybe I bumped into my altar or something, you know, like there's books underneath on the bookshelf part, so maybe, you know, maybe I opened the door and it bumped into something and shook, because they don't usually just shake like that on their own. And so I looked more closely, and I went up to the altar and I saw, like, to check if anything fell, and I made sure it was still, you know, everything was still. And then I got closer to the fairy lights, or to the altar itself, and I saw the fairy lights just moving. Not like the lights flickering, but like the physical light device, like actually moving. And I took a video of it, and I immediately sent it to Chris, because I was like, dude, whoa, look at that. I mean, this never happens. My lights don't just move, like, there was no air blowing on them. I thought maybe it was the vent, you know, but it wasn't. And so I believe that it was the energy of this pendant, you know, perhaps electric energy, perhaps whatever energy, just causing that subtle, ever so subtle movement in the lights surrounding it. I'll show you, this is my altar area, and I hung some of the pendants up here, obviously, and the lights are vibrating next to the pendants. I mean, maybe you're like, duh, but I don't know, I was like... So, like I said, it is important that we keep this pendant aligned with our highest energy, you know, because that is its use. And when it's not in that, when it's aligned with a more toned down energy of our own, or a stagnant energy, or anything that in us that needs to be released, that's when we want to be careful with wearing it. We want to make sure that it is charged to bring out our light, our divine light. And through balancing these polarities, this inner divine masculine and inner divine feminine, we can begin to fully step into our power, live our dreams, to manifest our dreams, to remove any blockages, any limitations, any old thought patterns or paradigms that we live in that keep us stuck, that keep us saying, I can't do this, or this won't work out, or that's not for me, even if it is, especially if it is. It removes those, and it allows us to almost feel, well, to be our divine selves, and to get a glimpse of what that will feel like, of what that does feel like, what we can maintain and actively continue to feel like when we have this pendant, or even if we don't. You know, it's not an unachievable thing without the pendant. You know, you don't have to have this pendant in order to do that, but this is a tool that can help you get there faster, to use it in meditation, or to even, you know, just strengthen that energy if you have already achieved that balance within yourself. And it's a very oversaw, or it's a very underlooked feature, I believe. Not everyone knows about a balancing of an inner masculine and divine feminine within themselves, you know. Not everybody does, and that's okay. Not everyone will watch this video, but I hope that the right people find this video, and that, you know, it can direct those that will benefit from any of Chris's pendants, specifically this Illumenator Pendant, to high power creations, and to the Facebook group, to beginning to step into your energy, your highest divine energy, because that is what I believe that's what the world needs right now. You know, we don't need any more darkness. We got plenty of that. We could always use some more light. If anyone knows anything about what I'm talking about with the divine masculine and feminine, you know, if you want more understanding of that, you can go check out my video on the Kybalion, the principle of gender, on the principle of polarity. There's a podcast video, I can post a link to it in this video here, and find out for yourself. And if you already know about it, then check the pendant out. You know, see what happens. See how much more you can grow. I'm going to post, you know, links and stuff in here, so if you're that curious, you can find it. Thank you again, Chris, for mailing me these pendants, and share this information, to share the wealth. So guys, everyone stay kind, stay curious, stay loving, and be safe. And until next time, peace.